Yo, what's going on, everybody? Akeem here, and in today's Fix of Entertainment News, Kevin Feige gives us a much-needed update on the Fantastic Four movie, where it all falls in the sacred timeline and when filming will begin. Plus some Batman K Crusader news and Green Lantern. Let's drop it. Marvel Studios head Kevin Feige revealed some fantastic information for the upcoming Fantastic Four movie, which is currently slated to release next July. On the official Marvel podcast, he mentions production on the movie will begin right after this year's San Diego Comic-Con, as well as teasing where in this sacred timeline the film will take place in the overall MCU. Feige making mention that production will take place soon after Comic-Con is a teaser in and of itself, as that might mean fans can expect some major announcements coming out of Hall H from Marvel Studios, which is where the Fantastic Four movie was first announced way back in 2019. That's been a while, but I guess we had a bit of a blip in our timeline too. Now, on the podcast, Feige didn't explicitly confirm when the film takes place, but he was keen to point out how observant fans have been deciphering the very few promotional images that have been released. Now, for instance, in that Valentine's Day image, you can see Ben Grimm reading a Life magazine with what appears to be President Lyndon Johnson in the Oval Office. Now, LBJ was in the White House from 1963 to 1969, so this seems to suggest the movie is set during that particular time period. Now, this was also shortly after the Fantastic Four first debuted in the comic book form, so it fits. It kind of fits. I think it does. Now, in this other image, check this one out. Look at this piece. It's beautiful. You got the Human Torch flying up in the air. Fans actually took notice to the buildings in the background, which have a vastly different look to any version of New York depicted in the movies, past or present. So it's speculated that this might be an alternate universe's advanced version of New York. Now, we know the movie's part of the MCU, but that's definitely not Earth 616. Now, there's a real retrofuturistic vibe from these two promotional images, and Kevin Feige has stated on the Marvel podcast, the Fantastic Four movie will in fact be a period piece. Take a listen.
Fantastic Four cast announcement artwork, for example, was very 1960s influenced, suggesting that we might get a period film?
Yes, very much so. It is a period, and there was another piece of art we released with Johnny Storm flying in the air and making a 4 symbol, and there was a cityscape in the corner of that image, and there were a lot of smart people who noticed that cityscape didn't look exactly like the New York that we know or the New York that existed in the 60s in our world. And those are smart observations, I'll say.
So we have confirmation as to when the Fantastic Four movie will take place in the MCU sacred timeline, which now the question is, what type of implications will it have in the overall MCU timeline? Like, will this be a self-contained story that takes place in a different universe, or will it somehow connect to previous Marvel movies in the MCU? Only time will tell as we inch ever so closer to July 2025. But hopefully more information will be revealed this year at San Diego Comic-Con. Moving right along, this morning, IGN dropped the exclusive reveal of the first trailer for Batman K Crusader. Now, in it, you get your first look at the Batman, Two-Face, Penguin, Catwoman, Alfred, and even its version of Harley Quinn, which is vastly different from anyone that I've ever seen depicted in comic book form or otherwise. Now, Bruce Timm, who made a name for himself with Batman the Animated Series, is also behind this new series, but it's clearly a very different and unique take on the Dark Knight. Now, according to Timm, this version of Batman is more inspired by old pulp heroes like Doc Savage and The Shadow. Now, he mentions how those heroes weren't necessarily nice guys and how, quote, they weren't cuddly and cracking jokes and stuff. They were very kind of superhuman to the point of not being human. And so that's kind of how I always wanted to present Batman. And that's the kind of Batman we'll be seeing when K Crusader premieres in August 1st to be precise, on Prime Video. Elsewhere in the various Elseworlds of DC adaptations, the Green Lantern live-action series is moving forward with an official series order. Now, this show is coming to us from the minds of Chris Mundy, Damon Lindelof, and Tom King. Now, aptly titled Lanterns, that's plural. The 8-episode series will follow Jon Stewart and Hal Jordan as they investigate an Earth-based murder mystery in America's heartland. So it's kind of like True Detective, but with power rings. Yay! Taking this direction for the DC-based live-action series shouldn't necessarily come as a surprise, as showrunner Chris Mundy worked on the latest season of True Detective, as well as Ozark, Criminal Minds, Cold Case, and many other murder mystery shows. And not to mention DC comic writer Tom King is an ex-CIA officer, so he'll likely bring some of his real-world experiences into the series. Now, no casting or release date just yet on the series, but we'll keep you posted. And that was your fix of entertainment news for today. I'm Akeem, and thank you for watching. Now that you're caught up on today's news, please check out our reviews of Maxine and The Acolyte Episode 5. Download the IGN app on all your devices, and for everything else, stick with IGN.